Yep, so the other thing we need to do now is set the intonation. As you want your string, you want your guitar to be in tune all the way across the fretboard. You can have your, your guitar in tune open, and all the strings in tune. However, if your intonation isn't set, you could start playing further up the fretboard or even lower down, but you could start fretting notes and they'd actually be fretting sharp or flat to what the note's meant to be, which doesn't sound good. It doesn't matter how in tune your open strings are, if your intonation isn't set up, it's going to sound terrible. So we have to set that up. It's not going to be a fully in-depth guide of how to do it. I'm just going to sort of film myself doing one string and then you follow the procedure on all the other strings. So you need a few things. First of all, you will need a guitar tuner and a lead. So first things first, make sure the guitar is definitely in tune. When you're tuning your guitar, you want to strum it how you strum it. So if you play with a pick, pick it with a pick, and also hold the guitar in playing position, because gravity does have an effect on the strings. So yeah, let's start doing this. Right, that'll do. Now when you're setting the intonation, you'll need obviously an Allen key and a screwdriver. Actually no, you don't need an Allen key. What am I thinking about? You do need a screwdriver though. Boom. There we go. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to just do the low E here. So let's get the tuner in shot. So strum it when it's open. Yep, cool. There we go, that's how I normally strum. So that's in tune, I'm happy with that. And then you want to try the 12th fret. Obviously it's a whole octave up, it should be exactly the same note. Let's see if it is. No, as you can see, it's pretty sharp compared to our open string. So what we need to do then is move the saddle backwards. Easy way to remember it, if it's flat, you go, well, it's flat fret forward, which means you'd move the saddle forward. That's the easy way to remember it. So if you move a flat fret forward, when it's sharp, it's obviously going to be back. So we need to move it back a little bit. Even though it's a pain in the bum, I like to loosen the string off a little bit before doing it. Some people just try and pull it back, but obviously if your string's tight, it's just going to stretch the string even more and it won't work. When you're going forward, you can kind of get away with it because it's making the string slacker. But when you're going back, always loosen off the string. Don't need to go a huge amount, maybe a little bit more than that, I do. So take the screwdriver, and to bring the saddle backwards you need to tighten the screw. So just do a little bit at a time, bring it back into tune. Where did I put my plectrum? There it is. And I try and be quite thorough with it. Obviously now I've adjusted the string, so I do give it another stretch again. That it. See, it's a little bit better now. Can you see that? There we go. See, it's still sharp, but it's not as much as it was, so we just need to move the saddle back a little bit more. Right, my camera decided to cut out, that was good. Anyway, let's just get back to it. As you can see, it cut out just before I got this done, so it's in tune now. It's always good, just, you have to set up your guitars yourself really. It's really important to do it or be with the tech when you're setting them up. People always get their guitars, they take their guitar to a shop, get it set up, and then they play it and they're like, oh, it's terrible, the intonation's off, the setup's not great, what's wrong with them? But the thing is, every single person plays differently. So the reason why I know that I can set the intonation okay on my guitars is because I know how I play, I know how I pick. Other people pick harder and play harder, and that's why it's important to tune your guitar in the playing position in the way that you play. If you play with your fingers all the time, tune it with your fingers. There's no point tuning it with a pick because it's not going to be correct when you play with your fingers. Good example of this is if you can see the tuner there. That's how I strum, that is in tune. Someone else might pick up the guitar and they might pick harder, and now it's out of tune. So you'd have to accommodate for that for the way that you pick. Same with your intonation. That's how I play, that's in tune. If you pick it a bit harder, press a bit harder. Look at that, I can manipulate the note just by pressing harder on the fret or not. So everyone plays differently. For me, this is quite good. Let's give him a little stretch. This is quite good. I might move it just a hair back, because I think it could do with it, because depending on where you are on the fret as well can affect the note too. So if you see, if I'm closer to the lower end of the fret here, more towards the 11th fret, still a little bit sharp. If I move towards the 13th fret, it's bang on. So set up your guitars yourself, or if you're not sure, do it with someone that can do it. Do it with the tech, do it with the guitar shop. Tell them how you like to play and stuff like that, and that can determine, how well your guitar's actually going to play once it's set up. Anyway, I'm going to finish off doing this off camera, and then we should be done and we'll look at the final thing.